And this is an expansion for one of my favorite games of all time, which is, of course, Lords of Vegas. And if you're not familiar with this game, this is a game that simulates players building up different casinos in Vegas and then earning money based on the casinos that they own. And just in terms of the design on this one, I think it is one of the most perfect games ever made. Not only is it super easy to teach and play, but it also strikes that perfect balance of being strategic enough that your decisions actually matter and make sense, but then it offers enough randomness and chaos that adds a little bit of character to the game, really sells that Vegas theme, but then just really brings in those really exciting moments where someone's putting it all out on the line and you get to see them either fail or succeed spectacularly. And there's a few different types of themed casinos that players can build, each with a different color, and at the start of each turn you're going to be drawing a card from the casino deck, and depending on which type of casino that is, it's going to trigger that casino to pay out to its owners. So for example, if a purple casino card was drawn, all the players that have a die out on a purple casino are going to be gaining money equal to the millions of dollars of the number of pips that they have out on those casinos. And you might have noticed that each of these dice do have a different color, and that just indicates which player that die belongs to. But you might have also noticed that there are different colored die even within the same casino, because if you have a casino of the same color beside another casino, that just counts as a single casino, but the player that has the highest die within that group of tiles is the boss of that casino. And the difference with being a boss of a casino is that when that casino's card is drawn, not only will you gain the money with respect to the pips you have there, but you're also going to be gaining the victory points equal to the number of tiles within that casino. And when those casino cards are drawn, they do remain face up for all players to see because there's only a certain number of each casino in the deck, and knowing which cards have come out the least are going to indicate which ones are the most likely to come out in the future. But on a player's turn, they can do as many actions as they want, and they have a few actions to choose from. You can either build on a lot that you already own, just paying the amount that is outlined on that lot, and then you'll be able to choose any casino tile of your choice and then put it on that lot. And as I said, if tiles of the same color are side by side, they become part of the same casino. So if the player decided to build a brown casino tile here, then that would immediately attach them to this other casino, which they might want to do because they're going to be putting a 5 die there as indicated on that space, which means that they would be the boss of that casino since all the other die here are lower than a 5. And one thing to note here is that players will be gaining a new lot each and every turn because each of the casino cards does have a lot number associated with it. And whenever you draw that card, you're going to be gaining that lot just by putting your colored token on it. And this is important to note for the next action because not only can you build on your own lots, but you can also build on the unclaimed ones. And this is called sprawling. And in order to do that, you have to build adjacent to a casino that you already own. But you know, this isn't entirely legal, so you'll have to pay twice as much in order to do so. And also, if another player ends up drawing that lot number in a future turn, then they get to claim that lot legally along with anything that you've built there. Let's say you built a casino and you want to change it to a different type of casino. There is an action for that called the remodel action. And of course, this will also cost you millions of dollars, but whenever you do that, you can change the tiles from one of your casinos to tiles of a different color, because this player could change their pink casino into the color matching their adjacent casino, and since they have the higher dice there, those casinos would then combine, and then they would also be the boss. But of course, your title there can be contested because there is another action called the reorganize action. And the blue player might want to do this because in order to reorganize a casino, you just have to pay millions of dollars equal to the number of pips there, and then you can pick up all the dice and re-roll them, hopefully making your dice there of a higher value, and your odds of being the boss there, of course, are higher if you are the one with more dice in that casino. And of course, the final action you can do is just to gamble your money at another player's casino. And the odds are not in your favor when you do this, but if you need a little bit more money on your turn, it is sometimes worth it to try and play those odds. But just remember that if you do lose your money, it will go to the player that owns that casino. And the game essentially continues like this. And of course, the player with the most victory points at the end of the game wins, but this new expansion is going to be introducing some new ways that you can play the game. And the main way it's doing that is by introducing alternate boards for iconic locations like Reno, Tombstone, Atlantic City, and New Orleans. Each of these boards are going to have their own unique mechanisms associated with them, as well as different ways you can gamble your money, like playing poker instead of craps. The campaign's also going to be offering some upgraded components, and I'm really interested to see what they change here because it's this reason that it's not my pick of the week despite being one of my favorite games of all time. And the reason for that is that their previous campaign, the upgrades weren't quite as significant as I would have hoped. I would have loved to see some new artwork or at least non-paper money. And these are expansions that I do want, and I 100% will be buying them, but if there's not a significant upgrade in the artwork or the presentation of the game, I'm less inclined to even want to deluxify my version of the game, so I will probably just end up buying in retail. But either way, this is a design that I love, so I'm just happy to get new content on it either way. And as always, you can find links to the campaign in the description below.